I realized that I have a big problem, and that anytime I get anxiety, I want to buy a book. This is my gigantic, well, not gigantic, medium-sized book haul. I don't know what's considered gigantic, but it's probably like definitely over 5 books in here. So maybe that's considered gigantic. But anyway, I realized that I have a big problem, and that anytime I get anxiety, um, I want to buy a book. This is my dog Ty. He has to be in the video. He has to be in the chair as soon as I sit in this chair, unfortunately. But he's okay. He's living life. Let's start with Target. So I went so these books are actually accumulated over like the last week or so. Um, but I went to Target the other day, and of course, I found a couple books that were interesting. And you got to go down the book aisle in Target, because they got 20% off books. So, of course, I had to grab some. First, I'm gonna start off with I'm gonna start off with this book, The Song of Achilles. Now, everyone has talked about it. Clearly, it says is like is a #1 New York bestseller. Which honestly, if I'm being honest, I feel like almost every book is like it's okay, whatever. But this one was so raved about on TikTok, and I feel like I'm very late to the game, but I've heard great things, especially from friends that have read the book themselves and they said they've cried. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready to cry, um, because I'm a very emotional person, and I know this joint gonna have me crying and I just don't know if I want to be feeling like that. But again, I will read it. I will add it to my endless TBR. I did plan on reading it, but this is my first time buying it, even though I said I was gonna buy it like months, years ago. But the song because I don't really think I have to explain the synopsis on the back, and just because I'm almost positive you probably heard of it. But if just to reiterate, Achilles, the best of all Greeks, son of the cruel sea goddess Thetis, and the legendary king Perseus, is strong, sweet, and beautiful, irresistible to all who meet him. Patroclus is an awkward young prince exiled from his homeland after an act of shocking violence. Brought together by chance, they forge an inseparable bond despite risking the god's wrath. They are trained by the centaur Chiron in the arts of war and medicine, but when word comes that Helen of Sparta has been kidnapped, all the heroes of Greece are called upon to lay siege to Troy in her name. Seduced by the promise of a glorious destiny, Achilles joins their cause, and torn between love and fear for his best friend, Patroclus follows. Sorry, Carrie. Little do they know that the cruel fates will test them as never before, both as never before, and demand a terrible sacrifice. So, the Song of Achilles. Excited to read. Kind of scared because I know I'm gonna make you cry, and I'm so emotional I can't. But I'm excited to add it to my endless TBR. I almost dropped the book. I'm excited to add it to my endless TBR. Add a new book. Next book I bought was One Day. Now, obviously, most of you guys, I don't know, I've seen the Netflix show, so that's the main reason why I bought this. I've never seen it before, but I obviously probably just wasn't really looking. But it's based off of two people in the span of like 20 years. That's what I've heard of. It's called One Day by David Nicholas. Yeah, Nicholas. And I heard this one is sad too. Now I don't know what's wrong with me in buying sad books. I know I have another sad one in here that I know of that I brought. And also keep in mind all these books I brought myself with my own money. But yeah, I'm kind of scared. But at the same time, I'm also like the One Day show looks so intriguing. I just don't want to rewatch it yet until I read the book. But I'll read the back of the book just so anybody who hasn't heard of it can know what it's about. It's 1988, and Dexter Mayhew and Emma Morley have only just met. But after only one day together, they cannot stop thinking about one another. Over 20 years, snapshots of that relationship are revealed on the same day, July 15th of each year. Dex and M face squabbles and fights, hopes and missed opportunities, laughter and tears, and as the true meaning of this one crucial day is revealed, they must come to grips with the nature of love in life itself. So it sounds very interesting, sounds sad, but then again, it's also like, I'm not surprised. I mean, the show, I heard people were quite literally sobbing watching the show. So I'm excited to add this to my endless TBR as well. Now this is a book that next book is actually a book that I actually never seen before on TikTok or like on YouTube. So I'm kind of excited to like read it, or just to like, just from reading the back of the synopsis, it just sounded really intriguing. But it also seems like it's on the darker side. But again, I've never read anything by this author before, so I can't tell you if it is or if it's not dark, or if she's like writes dark romances. But it's called Hate by Tate James, and I've seen it at Target, and I've seen the other ones. It's part of it looks like it's part of a series. I'm not sure if it's a series of standalones or not, or if it's, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it is part of a series, Madison Kate series. But I've never seen it before on TikTok, so I was excited to like, try something new. I'll read the synopsis. The big words at the top of the page are Madison Kate Danvers was murdered tonight. Those words changed my life, and not for the better. They were wrong, of course. I wasn't dead, but I was set up. After being framed for a deadly riot, charged with a string of offenses, and being made into an example by my politically minded father, I'm eventually released back into Shadow Groove. I could keep my head down, but I only had one thing on my mind: hate. The boys who framed me are going to pay for deraveling my carefully laid out future. They're going to catch the full force of my revenge. Except when I arrive back in town, thanks to my father's shiny new girlfriend, I find that all three of them are living in my house, right down the hall. Archer, Kodak, and Steele are secretive, untrustworthy, dangerous, and dangerously magnetic too. But I'm not falling for their games. Not after what they did to me. Archer, the ass, and his boys mess with the wrong chick, and they're about to learn just how cold Madison's Kate hatred can run. It sounds interesting. It sounds like she's about to be getting her revenge. 4 boys. Madison versus Archer, Kodak, and Steele. Now, this just seems, I don't know if all the books are based off, but I would definitely probably look it up. I just never seen this before, so I was like, damn, this sounds very interesting. So, yeah. I found it at Target if you want to look for it. But, Hate by Tate James. I'm kind of really excited to read it. On to the next package, or next book. From Amazon. Now, I spent all my money on Amazon, just to let you guys know. And it's very unfortunate. My bank account does not thank me. But at the end of the day, it's a problem. I'm not even going to try to gaslight myself into thinking that it's not a bad thing. It's a problem. So the next book I found / saw, I think I saw this on, I think I might have seen this on Amazon when I was like scrolling through like their book recommendations. It's called Scream for Us by Molly Doyle. Now, it's obviously like a very like, short story. But I saw it and I was like, this seems like it would be like a nice quick read to read in between books. Just to read in general. But I've never read anything by this author as well. It sounds interesting. Let me read the back of this cover so I can, get y'all updated on what it's about. After wandering to an alluring Halloween party that is said to go down in history, Gwen finds herself captivated by 3 masked men. As she immerses herself in a night of both pleasure and pain, she finally has the perfect opportunity to bring her deepest fantasies to life, or deaths. Now, I don't know if I might wait to read this until like Halloween, because I find like that I'm more motivated to read books that are like kind of set in like seasonal settings during certain seasons. So like Halloween, for example, like I'm like witchy, dark. I usually like to read like most of my dark romances during that time, like sci-fi romances and stuff like that, like just Halloween-based romances. Or I like to read like during the springtime. I like to read like more fun, bubbly, but obviously some still dark romance because I'm an avid like dark romance reader. But I do read like still fluffy, fun books as well. So I might save this for Halloween because it's so small, and honestly I can probably read it in like less than a day, like literally probably 2 hours. But anyway, on to the next book, also from Amazon. This book, so I actually saw this book on TikTok by this one girl that like I just like started like watching on TikTok, and like she was recommending books by with black characters in them, like African American characters in them, and I was very like interested to see like find books like that because unfortunately they're not promoted very often on those platforms as much. So I found that like I wanted to find more. So when she was recommending books, I was actually like taking the time to be like, oh, what books interest me? And I've always been like a Pride and Prejudice person. Like I like the movies, like very old romantic movies, and just rom coms. Like I know Pride and Prejudice is not rom, but like rom coms and like things like that from like older, like literally like 2000s, early 2000s, or earlier. So when she recommended this book, it's called Pride and Protest by Nikki Payne, right? And it just interested me because I was like, obviously, it's like not necessarily the same as Pride and Prejudice, but it's like in that realm. It's obviously based kind of off that as well. So I found it really interesting, and I wanted to kind of like read it. I'll read the back. Give me one second. A woman goes head to head with the CEO of a corporation threatening to destroy her neighborhood in this fresh and modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice by debut author Nikki Payne. Lisa B, the only DJ who gives a jam, wants to take her neighborhood back from the soulless property developer dropping unaffordable condos on every street corner in DC. But her planned protest at a corporate event takes a turn after she mistakes the smoldering hot CEO for a waiter. When they go toe-to-toe, the sparks fly, but her impossible to ignore family thwarts her every move. Lisa wants Dorsey Fitzgerald out of her hood, but she'll settle for getting him out of her head. At first, Dorsey writes off Lisa Bennett as more interested in performing outrage than acting on it. As the adopted Filipino son of a wealthy white family, he's always felt a bit out of place and knows a fraud when he sees one. But when Lisa's protest results in a viral meme, their lives are turned upside down, and Dorsey comes to realize this irresistible revolutionary is the most real woman he's ever met. So that's something really interesting. Obviously, like it's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and not only is the female character, a person of color, the male character is as kind of is not kind of, but is as well. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. Seeing trying out new things that, for me at least, I mean I read POC books before, but I'm trying to just get back into the world of recommending as well as reading more personal color books. So I'm excited to try this book. Next, because I don't know how to stop buying books. I don't even know what's in this package. And even when you like save all your packages, I just feel like it feels like Christmas. Like I've never done this before. I've stacked up packages before when I was just not not really reading them, but I'm not really opening them at the moment. But I've never stacked up book packages. So now I'm like opening it and I'm like, what's in this? And it's kind of exciting. Next two books. Next book, or at least Once You're Mine. So this is dark, dark romance. So obviously check the trigger warnings. If you're not a dark romance reader, I wouldn't recommend reading this, obviously, for obvious reasons. But it's basically, it's just a dark romance. So I seen this on TikTok, and people were like really raving about it. One of my favorite TikTokers was literally like raving about this book, like saying it's like so good. And I was, I like me some dark romance. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna read it. Like, I kind of want to, like, this sounds interesting. And I think I seen that TikTok months ago. So I took a while to buy it because, I have like a whole stack of books that I need to read. And I wasn't gonna buy it, but then of course I went on Spiral and brought a bunch of books. So I added that one to my list. Let me read the back of it. A murder brought us together. Only death can keep us apart. The Tormentor. Calista? I think it's Calista. Calista Green belongs to me. She just doesn't know it. The first time we met, I wanted her. The next time, I was obsessed. I watched her. I followed her. It only deepened my need to possess her. Once she's mine, I'm never letting her go. The Target. Hayden Bennett is a monster, in and out of the courtroom. Unfortunately, I need his help. What was supposed to be a simple transaction turns into something else, something intense. He's always there when I need him, but I don't know if trusting him is a good idea. So, like, it sounds really interesting. I was like, that's super interesting. Super, super interesting. So I'm really excited to try this one. Next I got was American Queen. So I actually have American Queen by, oh wait, I don't even think I said the author, but the author of What's Your Mind is Morgan Bridges. Sorry, my bad. But next book is American Queen by Sierra Snow. So I actually have the entire is this the entire Priest series? I don't even know what's that series called. I don't know, but it's Priest, Sinner, Saint, Midnight Mass. Those books. I feel like if you're on Book Talk, you've heard of them at least once. But I have the Priest series, and I actually did enjoy Priest. I mean, I didn't finish it, but that was because I'm like kind of a mood reader. So unfortunately, when I lose interest, my foot is out the door. Like I can't force myself to read a book. I tried. It always just turns me off, and I just can't. So I did have started Priest. I do plan on finishing it. It's not a hard DNF. It's more of a soft DNF for me because I feel like I didn't hate the book. I just wasn't in the mood for it. So this American Queen is another series that she wrote. I'm not sure if she wrote this before Priest or after Priest, but it's another one of her series. The front of the book literally says, "I serve at the pleasure of the president." And what's also funny is I actually have a copy of this one, but they came out with new covers, and I have no self control. Anyway, I like this cover too. Like, I don't like when people I don't mind when people are on the front of covers. It's just it's so awkward. I need to meet someone who doesn't believe that it's awkward to read a book with like a straight person on the cover. Like the first American Queen has a girl on the cover, which isn't super. I guess isn't horrible. But I know the next ones have men on the covers, and even with the girl on the cover, I just feel like I just don't like reading it in public because then people are, I feel like people are judging me and being like, what the hell, what is she reading? Like, is she reading And even though I know I'm reading I just don't want people to know I'm reading So, yeah, American Queen. Let me read the back so you can get a synopsis of what it's about. Her name is Greer Galway, and she serves at the pleasure of the President of the United States. The sharp-eyed granddaughter of former Vice President Greer is well-versed in politics and people, but not romance. Not when she is warned to keep her kisses to herself, except her first kiss goes to the man who will one day lead the country, war hero Maxon Ash Colchester. And her second goes to his best friend and future Vice President Embry Moore. That's the name. Okay. When the three collide in the Oval Office many years later, the unsaid words between them leave Greer breathless and burning. It starts with a stolen kiss under an English sky, and it ends with a walk down the aisle. It starts when Axe asks Brent Embry to find the girl they both lost, and it ends with Greer's heart split in two. It starts with buried secrets and dangerous desires, and ends with three people bound together with a ruthless, all-encompassing love sharper than any barbed wire. The story is of an American Queen. Oh, it's called the Camelot series. Okay, there you go. I feel like the Priest series would probably call something too. Oh, it's called the Priest series. Ah, that's hilarious. Okay, but yes, American Queen. Next, last but not necessarily least, in this next package. And keep in mind, I've opened some of these because I was trying to find other things that I brought inside the packages. So you clearly see me I didn't rip it open. It's because I had to open it just to get something out. But anyway, anywho, the next book, and obviously this was trending on TikTok not too long ago, is God of Malice by Rena Kent. Now, I've heard about this book. I heard it's dark, so obviously check the trigger warnings because I don't want anybody reading a book that I recommend that, obviously they can't, not necessarily handle, but you know what I mean. So I just want you to make sure you check your trigger warnings before you obviously pick up a book that is recommended. I'm pretty sure she has trigger warnings on her site. I'm not sure if they're in the front of the book like some people. Yep. She got trigger warnings in the front. So please check the trigger warnings. But this is God of Malice. This is part of the Rena Kent universe that everybody loves. I read the first one in the Parent series. So I think I read this person's... I think I might have read this person's thing. But it doesn't matter. I know she said you can read them, obviously. You don't have to read them in, exact order. So I did read one of her books before, and I did like the writing. So I'm kind of excited to read this. I'll read the back of it so you kind of get a synopsis of what it's about. I caught the attention of a monster. I didn't ask for it, didn't even see it coming, but the moment I do, it's too late. Killian Carson is a predator wrapped in sophisticated charm. He's cold-blooded, manipulative, and savage. the worst part is that no one else sees his devil side. I do. And that will cost me everything. I run, but the thing about monsters, they always chase. So, obviously, it's really romantic fluff. So, and go look at the cover. So I mean, obviously she has the covers. This is like the discrete cover, or like the alternate cover. But I just like this cover. Like just the attention that like this alone is just cool, and like just the color scheme. I know like every book has a different color scheme, but like oh my god, and it feels so good. I'm so weird. Stop. No, literally, yeah. I just like this. I like this cover, and I know it's a Legacy of Gods. I think it's what's the. I'm so horrible with remembering things, but I can't remember what first the parents' books were called. Anyway, if anything, I could do a whole like Rena Kent review. I know there's some videos out there like that, but I can definitely do it. But this is the first book in the Legacy of God series, and I'm excited to read it. And I just like love the cover. Oh my god, I love the cover so much. Now the next book. Oh my god. So I've seen this book on TikTok. I seen this book talk because this on TikTok on Book Talk because someone had put like a one of those like carousel posts where it's like this book made me sob, and then the next thing is like a quote from the book. So I saw this like carousel post of this book, and I literally like I don't know how to explain this. Well, I'm a Cancer. That's my sign, and I feel like I don't know. I know this comes with the Cancer thing. Like they say, we're very emotional, which honestly, I wouldn't consider myself emotional. I just feel like it's easy for me to cry, but it depends on the situation. In books, I haven't like sob cried into a book in a minute, but like sometimes I'll just tear up like if something sad's happening. So like when I saw the quote, like I damn near like was like crying. I was literally sitting there like, damn, that's like heartbreaking. Like, like like literally baffled. So it made me want to buy it because I was like, dang, I know I'm too much of an emotional wreck to be sitting here reading books that will have me emotionally wrecked. That's why I haven't read A Little Life yet, because I'm kind of scared to read it because everybody says it cries, and I'm just like, dang, Chen, do you really want to cry? And I think I'm actually gonna film like a vlog of me reading A Little Life because I kind of want to get my reaction on camera so I can look back at it and like laugh. But anyway, I want to read this book. It's called A Hue of Blue, and I just know it's like about emotionally heartbreaking book. Like everybody, like the main guy, the main girl both like go through a lot separately, and then they of course bring it into the relationship. But let me read the back of it so that you kind of get a synopsis of what it's about. How many times am I gonna say it? Anyway, I'm gonna read the back of it. How much pain are you willing to endure for someone you love? Bold, charismatic, and charming Blue Henderson wears a fake smile every day, pushing through life because she has to, not because she wants to. Quiet, introverted, and mysterious Jace Bowling catches her eye the second she sees him. After that, it's game over, not just for Blue, but for Jace as well. Drawn together by inexplicable attraction, a whirlwind connection forms that persists and torments, mends and breaks, and forces both Blue and Jace to confront the dramas of their past. A Hue of Blue explores how two broken hearts can find comfort in tragic losses, how two broken souls can find peace in pain, and how loving yourself may be the only way to love another, no matter the consequence. Like, this sounds sad. I don't know. What is up with me and buying a bunch of sad ass books? I'm just. Even just reading the back, like I know this is about to be so sad, and I'm kind of scared. Like just reading the little that little quote on TikTok literally almost threw me off for a loop. And I bought the book thinking like, hey, you're gonna read it, da da da, you're gonna be so amazing, knowing damn well that I'm gonna cry. Anyway, gosh, next book. we'll climb back on that boat in the future because I might read it soon. I might even record myself reading it, but we'll see. Sorry, my dog wants to get back on the couch. Ooh, I'm sorry. Oh, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. So this next book is actually from It's actually from Barnes and Noble. The book just lit out, so we're gonna ignore that. But I'm gonna hide my thing. It's from Barnes and Noble. I brought it after, so I'm gonna explain it because if you ever heard the book Done and Dusted, by Lila Sage. So I read that book. I'm actually currently reading that book right now, and I pre-ordered this because I knew I was gonna want the second book. And personally, I actually enjoyed Done and Dusted. Like so far, it's such a fun, like haha moment that like read. Like the male main character point of view as well as the girl. Like I feel like they've done it does it so well where it's just like you're actually feeling like you're getting his thoughts. Like when he's just like, why am I thinking like this? Or he's like sitting here being like, oh my god, did I just think that in my head? Or did I just say it out loud? Like you're getting that like funny like back like in the head where you see it and you're kinda like, this reminds me of like a rom-com. You know, it's definitely Small Town Brother's Best Friend in the first one. And it's really cute. I mean, obviously I can't get my words across and I talk too much, but so far I like the book. I would recommend it. I don't know what my rating is gonna be. Obviously, like when I get to probably my March wrap up, I'll probably post like my rating and like what I think about the book. But I got the second one, which is Swift and Saddled, which is about the brother. Yeah, it's about the brother, the girls from the first book's brother. So I think honestly each book is gonna follow the family, obviously, but because I know she obviously has the brother, and then she has another older brother. So I'm pretty sure that probably the next book is gonna be the older brother after this one. But so far I like it. I'm really excited to read this. I probably won't read this until probably like midsummer because I probably won't read it right away just because I have a lot of other books that I want to read. But I'll read the back. She's the city girl who refuses to be saddled with a man. He's the cowboy who wants her anyway. The last thing Ada Hart needs is a man to take care of her. Not anymore. After falling out of her interior design program in a disaster that was her short-lived marriage, Ida has clawed her way from rock bottom. Now the only person she trusts is herself, and that has gotten her further than ever before. She has her own business and one of the largest ranches in Wyoming. Just hired her and one of the largest ranches in Wyoming just hired her for the most important project of her career. When Ida arrives in Meadowlark, she finds herself in a dive bar where she can't see the shaped eyes of a handsome cowboy. When she leads him to the back of the bar, he leaves her with a kiss that most people could only fantasize about. She almost regrets that she'll never see him again, except it turns out he's her new boss. Webster Writer is a happy guy, even happier now that the mystery woman from the bar is the interior designer for his dream project on his family's ranch. He feels like he's hit the jackpot. Too bad she wants absolutely nothing to do with him outside of work. Ida is convinced that the pull she feels towards West will go away, but West can't stop thinking about her. Even though walls are coming down, around the Red Blue Ranch, Ida's walls are firmly in place. Can Ida and West make it through the project without giving in, or will they both put their dreams on the line for a chance at love? So like, obviously, it's still like rom-com-y. You're getting city girl, small town romance. Clearly, what's another trope that I'm getting? Not about any vibes from. City girl, small town romance. I don't know. Either way, it's really exciting. So I'm excited to see what this is about. Okay.